All right, so Keith and his kids, Jimmy and Phoebe, have come through with another speaker for me to do some videos on. And this one I'm actually going to do a few videos on. In today's video, I'm just going to have a look at what's inside and explain some sort of stuff about this speaker because it's quite interesting, and I actually want to take a look inside to see what it's actually made up of. And then what I'm going to do is try out having the speaker outside for a period of time. I really want to try and see if this thing can last a month outside in an Australian summer where it's 40 degrees and like bucketing rain the next day and really weird. And we'll see how long it lasts. This by any means does not sound good at all. We'll see. I'll play some music for you in a second. And then, well, in Keith's words,
I want to see this bitch on fire, okay?
we're going to blow the speaker up eventually. Maybe I'm expecting the speakers won't give way outside in the sun, but I expect the amp might finally die and the enclosure might start peeling apart because it can't deal with the water. But anyway, in today's video, we're going to have a look inside and we'll have a look at the components and how beefy they are. And well, let's just have a look. I'm interested in the box design as well, because there is obviously two full range drivers on the front. That's a fake tweeter. There's a woofer down there. That sort of has air coming out of it, and there's a port on the back. That bottom driver seems to move a lot more than the top one, so I'm sort of wondering if it's a fully enclosed cabinet for the front drivers or not, or if it's one big cabinet, why that one down there would move more than the top one, why it's right next to the woofer. Anyway, we're going to have a look inside. I'm expecting I'm just going to be able to pry these plastic rings off, and we'll go from there. Alright, so do make sure you chuck Jimmy, Keith and Phoebe some support in the comments down below. I didn't expect that to just come off. I actually have a hammer ready to like pry it off. Oh, there goes my iPod off the top of the speaker. If that probably broke then, I wouldn't be surprised. But wow, that is unbelievably cheap. I'll just zoom that out for you. There we go. So I'm going to turn this off because it's now humming at me. But we can see there we have the drivers exposed. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, it is a tweeter. As if. No way. Well, it definitely doesn't work. Well, there's 3 wires going to it. Maybe that's supposed to be a light of some description. I'll remove the screws off the back of that and we'll have a look inside. Yeah, I can't see why there'd be 3 wires going to a tweeter here, but nevertheless, there's definitely something behind it, so it's actually not completely pointless. It actually feels a little bit warm to the touch. But again, I don't want to destroy anything in today's video because again, I want to put it together and put it outside and see how it survives, and I'd be making it quite unfair if I was to just completely leave it like this where all this wood is completely exposed. But let's remove the screws off the back of this and see if this is some sort of LED or what the go is. Alright, so I've now removed the screws and I can see it's glued on there. Oh, okay, I see exactly what this is now. Sorry, I was just reading into it then. It says IR on the side, so I'd imagine there's a remote for this speaker, and that would be the control box just there for, well, obviously, well, the receiving end of the remote, so you can turn this thing up remotely if you want to have even more distortion. I'm gonna keep all that stuff again on the ground and I'll put that back together. Let's have a look. I actually tried to unpoke all the dust caps for the video, but it just didn't work very well. But what I'm gonna do now is remove the mid-bass drivers and we'll have a look and we'll see if we can work out. I can't figure out how to get the sub driver off the bottom here. The grill on this doesn't want to come off. I really, again, don't want to damage it too bad, but we'll figure out a way to get that off, hopefully. You can hear there is a driver in there. It sounded like then when a dust cap popped back out that it does have a plastic dust cap. But anyway, let's pull these drivers off and we'll see how beefy the back of them is. I'm expecting the magnets to be huge. That screw was hardly even tightened, like literally just barely twist it and it comes undone. Look at that. Okay, so it seems the speaker is stuck in there better than the grill is. Remember my old trick? Just lift the thing up and drop it. Oh, there goes all the screws off the top. I'm gonna try a flathead screwdriver, and there is the woofer driver. Wow, look at the size of that magnet. We have 10 watts, 4 ohms. Pancake speaker, very, very nice. I'm expecting the bottom one to be the same. You can see it is in this top one up here is in a sealed enclosure. However, looking by the sizes of the gaps in the walls there, it's really not that sealed. So we'll remove the bottom one. Actually, I've got to remove all the all the screws first. But yeah, we'll have a look at the bottom one and we'll see what the back of that looks like, if it's any different, but we'll be able to get a rough idea of what's happening inside of the enclosure by removing the bottom one down there. All right, so we're now gonna remove the bottom driver. Again, I'm expecting this to be the same from the back, which it is, and it is in a, all right, so it's in a sealed enclosure this time, just like the last one, but can we see on the wall just there, over here, which way? That way. Over there, the gap that is between that is so big. That's why the bottom woofer is moving so much more, is because all of that air from the woofer driver down the bottom is getting in, but they are both in sealed enclosures, but they're not sealed by any means. So I'm gonna try now to pry this off the side here. Yes, all right, here we go. Moment of truth. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, although, besides my bad framing, I've poked a hole in the surround, putting the screwdriver in there, just around here. But that actually doesn't seem to be too bad. We have bigger screws. Let's see how we go removing this. We can see I actually had to put a little bit of force on the screws to remove them. Remove that out of the box. Like so. Oh, so I had this, wow, okay. I had this thing absolutely jamming out music earlier, and it is so hot to the touch, it's not funny. Like, this thing is ridiculous. Like, it hasn't played music for 10 minutes now, and that is unbelievably hot to the touch. I'm actually gonna jam some music back through it. Same genre, same artist. I probably will get copyright for it, so I probably won't play it on video. Or I'll change the pitch of it. Actually, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll change. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll put some music on like I was playing earlier, and I'll change the pitch of it to avoid any copyright claims. So if it sounds weird, that's why. But I want to see how hard this woofer is actually working. We'll do it free air. I'll hook my iPod back up, and we'll see. Luckily, it didn't break when it dropped on the ground. So let's see how hard this woofer was actually working. So you can see this thing was working extremely hard. I'm surprised the inbuilt amp didn't blow it up. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is remove the amplifier off the back. I've now unplugged it from the power, and we have the same cheap screws that we have on the front drivers here that just come out literally with 2 fingers. So we'll have a look inside. I don't know if the actual amp's going to be attached to the back of this. I'm expecting it's not. I'm expecting ribbon cable that'll go up to the top up here where all the controls are, all the buttons and things. Maybe the amplifier will be fastened in here, but we'll get a rough idea of what's going on by taking a look inside of the box. The base of this speaker I do plan to keep as well, purely just because the bass isn't too bad. If it polished up, it would be okay. Alright, so here's the amplifier board and unit itself. I'm going to be a little bit careful here because I expect that the capacitors will be holding charge. We have a very small main capacitor down there, some really cheap components. We do have a heatsink there. I don't want to touch it because last time I touched the heatsink, yeah, okay, that one doesn't have anything going through it. I touched the heatsink on my Ultimax sub with the 500 watt amp that it's got in that, the young one, and that shocked me. Actually, when it was on, there was obviously power going through it. But again, here we have, that probably is the relay, I'd say, the fuse just there. Yeah, really nothing to it at all. As we can see, that goes through. I can see that there are the separate chambers there for the woofers on the front. Port up the top here, and I'm assuming, if I have a look down there, surely enough, we have a chamber, just like I sort of expected from the start, for this bass driver that goes down here, and then it comes up. There's another chamber there, and then it comes out the top here. And the only reason there's a chamber there is because obviously these are blocked off here for the mid bass and supposed to be sealed, but they're actually not quite. So regardless of that, this thing is, yeah, I'll let you be the judge in the comment section down below what you think of this speaker, but I certainly know it's probably not the best by any means, But what I'm going to do is put this completely back together. I'll leave the grills off for a little bit and just jam some music through it. I might actually leave these plastic bits here for the woofer, and wow, the grill's actually got some wood in it. I'll leave these plastic bits here off when I stick it outside, but we'll see how it goes. I'll take the base off and we'll just let it sit out there. Then maybe once every 3 or so days I'll go out and just check it's still going. So that's basically it. I'm going to put it back together. I'll just jam some tunes through this bottom woofer and film some excursion just for the sake of the video. And to be able to hear actually how badly distorted this speaker is, regardless of the volume. It's very weird, but we'll see. I'm gonna put this back together now, and then yeah, some excursion for you and some sound demos.
Well, she just likes what she likes to do. She said I don't smoke, I don't sip. I do blow and that's it. Goddamn that bitch lit. Goddamn that. Spending all of his money. Get so cold. Yeah, I'm laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah, I just take, yeah. Sweeping up.
Alright, so here we are with the speaker in its final position outside, and this is exactly where it's going to sit for the next month or so, and we'll see how that copes with all weather conditions. But anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you chuck a like on it, subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't already for some reason, and with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video, and I hope you did enjoy this one.